Welcome to Shooting Straight with Brad and David. I'm David Klaus, your Navajo County Sheriff, and my partner today.
I'm Brad Carline, your Navajo County Attorney.
This month we're joined with Mike Sample. Mike, thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
And Mike, you're the chairman or board
president.
Yes, of the Navajo County Fair, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
So
I've been with the Fair Board since 2006, and this is my 8th year as president of the Fair Board.
So what's the Fair Board do?
We're all volunteers. We have a 21-member Fair Board. We all volunteer and to coordinate and put on the Navajo County Fair as our main event, but we also have different events throughout the year that we coordinate.
So what other kind of events do you guys do?
In March, there's a big Talani Lake roping that we rent out the facility to, but we all take part in it, making sure that event goes good. We have Gymkhana's monthly different team ropings. We rent the facilities out for different events. So we're always involved in something going on at the fairgrounds.
So how long has the Navajo County Fair been going on?
Actually, it started in 1926. The first fair was held in Taylor, and then in 1931, it moved to Holbrook. The Board of Supervisors thought it would be a good idea to hold the fair at the county seat, so it moved to Holbrook, and it's been there. This is its 88th continuous year at Holbrook at the Navajo County Fairgrounds.
So it's been in that same location since then?
Since then. Yes, about 3 years ago, so it'd be about 78 years ago, we did. They built the big grandstands that are there. We had the 78th or 75th annual anniversary of the fairground, or the grandstands, about 3 years ago. So they're about 78 years old there.
When I think of county fairs, I think of farmers and ranching and things like that. Is that what it's geared for?
Originally, when county fairs first started, it was a way for agricultural to come and show off new products and stuff at the county fairs to show the people what's available. I mean, of course, it's evolved since then. A large part of it is 4-H and FFA, where the kids can come and show their animals and compete in animal showing, and then local county residents can bring in their fruits, vegetables, quilts, things that they make, and enter them in the fair. Of course, we have a rodeo, demolition derby, and the carnival. But I think for me, a lot of it is geared towards the kids and helping develop the kids in agriculture.
So what if you have a kid that's not into agriculture or not into raising livestock? Is there something for them to enjoy? Why should I bring out my family?
I think the whole fair's a good show for the family. It's a family event. There's a lot of different food vendors, different other vendors that come in and exhibit their products. Again, we have the Demolition Derby. If you're not into watching the rodeo, the Demolition Derby is a great event to bring your family to and watch at the fair.
So you guys started the food truck phase before it really became popular in the communities and so on.
Exactly right. Yeah, we get a lot of variety of different foods. We have great barbecue. Sometimes we get Thai food, hot dogs, Mexican food,
fried food.
Yes. we had a vendor a few years ago that had fried crickets and fried scorpions and stuff.
People are eating those?
They do. They do. I didn't try one. Although we got a good vendor coming who has fried alligator, and that's really good. I've tried that.
So I've worked the fair a long time as a deputy, volunteer in different positions. That's the hardest part, is smelling all the food walking up
right.
and down.
Yeah, it's great.
So what other entertainment do you have for families to enjoy at the county fair?
So we have the main stage at the fairgrounds. We bring in different acts. We have this year Coffee Anderson. He's an up-and-coming country singer out of Texas. He was here last year. We're having him again. He's performing Saturday night after the rodeo. We have another country group, Moonshine Mafia, that comes out of Payson, and they perform every night during the fair. State Line this year, they're a big popular local country group, and they're going to be playing after the rodeo on Friday night. And then during the day we have different local groups of Mexican folklore dancers that are going to be there. We have some native dancers that are going to be on stage, and then Popping Penelope. She's really popular with the kids. She's the balloon artist and stilt walker. So we have different types of varieties on the main stage.
So your concerts on Friday and Saturday night, are there dancing to go with that, or you just sit in the stands and enjoy?
You can dance, sit in the stands, enjoy the music. There's an area where you can dance to it as well, and we go till midnight on both those nights with the dances. So after the rodeo, you can stick around, eat great food. We have the bar open, so you can have some drinks and enjoy yourself as well.
David, you mentioned that you and the Sheriff's Department work the fair. What are you guys doing there?
Yeah, so the county fair is kind of a joint effort for all the municipalities in the county to help support the fair board, because they don't have a large budget to put on this great event, but public safety, security, and just having people take tickets, the money, there's the money that needs to be transported from the fair office to the gates, and we just always have a deputy on patrol on the perimeter inside, and thankfully we have a lot of great volunteers from our SAVs that do a lot of helping with parking and gate security, and then of course all the municipalities send a different officer every night, or a couple officers on different nights to help with security, because I don't know what your population is there on a rodeo night, but it's pretty high.
It's pretty high. Both rodeo nights and demolition derby night as well, our grandstands are packed, so we get a large crowd, probably about 5,000 people in the stands and stuff. And
then the carnival too.
And the carnival as well, because a lot of people don't go to those events, they just come to go to the carnival.
So you almost double Holbrook's size.
Oh
people
yeah,
coming.
easy. We get European tours who book their tour dates based on our fair dates.
Oh wow.
And stuff, and then we get a lot of people out of the valley that come up as well.
It's funny, as you mentioned the European. I remember for the past several years we have our trailer set up there. We have a little command post that says sheriff, and all the tourists love to come take a picture in front of the
Is that right?
You know, the American sheriff, or
the Old West sheriff.
The Old West sheriff.
So Mike needs to set up a photo booth there so he can get $1 or $2.
That's a good idea. That's right.
Raise a little money.
Right. Have the sheriff's picture painted on the.
So how big is your budget?
Well, we get a small amount of money from the county that primarily goes to our event director's salary. The rest of it we have to go out and raise with sponsorships, hold our events. So our budget can change every year based on the amount of people that attend the fair. Expenses are always going up. Just the entertainment budget always seems like every year it goes up. So we don't have a set budget. We try to work within the monies that we raise within the fair. It takes about $400,000 to run the fairgrounds from January 1st to December 31st.
So it sounds like you rely a lot on volunteers.
Oh, definitely. If it wasn't for volunteers, I don't know what we do, especially like with Navajo County, the Sheriff's Office providing security. They bring all the different agencies together and provide the security. At the last Fair Association meeting, that was one of the topics, was the security, and I mentioned how the county comes in and helps us with that, and they were just amazed because a lot of counties don't provide those services, so we're fortunate that Navajo County is able to come and provide security and help us in the fair.
So what other kind of volunteers do you need for the fair?
Along with the ticket booth, volunteers that the Kiwanis Club coordinates, we also need a lot of help in our food booth. The fair has their own food booth that we provide.
Is that one of your fundraisers?
It is. It's one of our
Is that the main one by the grandstand?
the Buffalo, the bullpen grill, we call it, and Jose's famous green chili written on the side of it, right. So that's all volunteers. So we get people to come in and cook, and then a lot of county employees will volunteer during their time at work to come in and work the windows for us and get pops and serve the food.
So if somebody in the community wanted to volunteer, who would they contact?
They can contact the Fair Board office. Michelle Stock, she's our event director. The phone number for the fair office is 928-524-4757. They can call the office and coordinate the times there with Michelle.
You know, we've been talking about the fair, but we haven't talked about when it is. When is the fair this year?
The fair this year is starting September 11th, and it runs through Saturday night, the 14th. We no longer do a Sunday day, so we end Saturday night after the rodeo dance.
So it starts on a Wednesday.
It starts on a Wednesday, yes, sir.
How much does it cost to get in?
$5. $5
That
is
include kids?
Kids 5 and under are free, so 6 and above is just a flat rate of $5. That gets into the main event or to the fairgrounds, and then if they want to go to the rodeo, it's additional $9 to get into the rodeo or the demolition derby.
So do the concerts after cost more? Or?
No, those are free. Those are just on the midway, so it's free to anybody who's within the fairgrounds there.
And then do you have discount days?
We do. We have Thursday is our senior discount day, so entry to the fair is $3.
So what is a senior? They define it differently. We're going to find out if I qualify or not.
I believe it's 65 and above, but I'll have to clarify
I don't
that.
qualify yet. Okay.
I don't either, thank goodness. But it is. It's right here on the fair book. 65 and up get in for $3.
Okay.
And then on Friday, all veterans and military personnel get in for free, and that's sponsored by the Holbrook Kiwanis Club.
And that's active and retired, right?
Yes, sir. Correct.
And the Kiwanis Club, they sponsor that.
They do sponsor that. They keep track of how many come in, and then they reimburse the fair for the admission.
Yeah, that's a great. They
is.
do that every year. That's really,
Every year, yes, sir. Every year.
So, do you have any other specially savings like wristband? I know there used to be wristband days for the carnival, or do they do that anymore?
We do. The carnival will provide us pre-sale tickets in advance, and that's usually so many rides any day of the week for a certain fee. I'm not sure what the fee is going to be this year. We have not got those yet from the carnival, and then the carnival itself will sell all-you-can-ride bands that are only good for like Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. But the ones you can purchase in advance at the fair office are good for any day of the fair. And those are for like, they might be 20 rides, something like that for a certain amount. I think last year it was $15 or $18 was the amount.
I know a big part of the fair is people putting entries in and competing for the blue ribbons. Besides putting in your squash that you grow or putting in your 4-H calf, what other kind of categories do you have? Do you have things for people that aren't ranching agricultural based?
Yes, we have. There's artwork, photography, quilts. Again, if you make jams or bake cookies, you could enter those as well. So there's a variety, and it's all in the Navajo County Fair book that you can find throughout the county. All the entry forms or anything are in there. So you can, if you want to bake a cookie and enter it in the fair, or a cake, we even have the ugliest cake contest and stuff, so you can enter that as well. And
I could probably win that when I even try.
Yeah, me too. As long as they don't taste it, right?
Yeah.
I remember as a kid that if I entered something, I grew up in Payson, so it's a Gila County Fair.
Right.
If you got the blue ribbon, oftentimes you then got automatically entered into the state fair.
Correct.
Does that still happen?
It does happen. So I think it's the best of show that goes down to the state fairgrounds, and so that's an automatic thing that'll get entered into the state fair. We still continue to do that.
So do you still have blue ribbons and other ribbons?
We have, yes, participant ribbons, the third, second, and first place ribbons, and then we have best of show ribbons as well. And it's not judged, and people get confused when they go in there and say, well, why did that win against this one? They do it on the Dutch system, so it's based on its own merit. You don't judge it against other things that are entered in the fair. You don't judge it against the other cakes or anything like that. It's based on its own merit. So that's how you get a ribbon.
So how many different categories do you have that people can enter? Do you know?
A lot. I don't know the specific number, but if you look in the fair book, there is a lot of categories that they can enter. So it's open to a lot of different things that you can enter into the open class department. We have school entries, so kids could, if they want to draw something in the school, they could do that as well. So we have, it's not just primarily geared to agriculture, so there's a lot of things. And if you grab the fair book, you can look at it, see all the different categories.
Yeah. So what are the hours to the fair? I know there a lot of those events we've talked about are at night, the rodeo and the demolition derby and the carnivals, but isn't the fair open during the day for people to come look at
Yes.
some of the
Yes.
blue ribbon prizes?
Correct. We're open actually on Wednesday, opening day. The gates open at noon, and we close at 10 o'clock at night. The official opening ceremonies will happen at 6 o'clock on the main stage there in the midway. On Thursday and through Saturday, the fair gates open at 10 a.m., and then we're there up until midnight.
And then the 4-H and the FFA, did I say that right?
Right. Yes, sir.
Future Farmers
yeah.
America, yeah.
Right. Junior livestock area.
So they'll show their livestock, but do you also auction that off? When does that take place?
The auction is at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. We've moved it from Friday to Saturday, trying to get more buyers that the kids can recruit to the auction.
Explain the auction. What exactly is that?
So these kids, they take their animals and they raise these animals. There's swine, the sheep, goats, steers, and they raise them all year, and they show them at different shows throughout the state. And at the county, they show there, and then they have an auction, so they have a chance to sell their animals to buyers.
So if I were to buy one, do I take it right there, or can there's a butcher shop
Right,
take it for me?
They'll have it processed for you.
Okay.
So they take it and send it off to be processed, and you get all the meat back.
But there's a big showing for that buying of the livestock.
There is. It's a good show, and it benefits these kids who work so hard in raising their animals. It takes a lot, and it's not cheap to raise these animals. It costs a lot. Not only do they just feed them, but they care for them. They take great care of their animals, and they groom them. And
is it open to anybody that would like to come and bid?
it is. It's open to the public. It is. So the more the merrier. These kids would love to have the grandstands full.
And this is way a lot of kids can raise money for college or vehicles, or they do a lot of things with them, don't they?
They do a lot of things, and it's a way when they're involved in FFA and 4-H. It also gives them opportunities to earn scholarships to attend college. My kids were in 4-H, and they got scholarships that helped greatly when they went off to U of A.
So as a dad, you were happy.
Very happy. Yes. It is expensive doing these programs, but it's a great benefit for these kids.
So was it because of your kids that you got involved with the Fair Board?
It is. My daughters were, I think, 8 and 11 when they decided they wanted to run for Navajo County Rodeo Queens. So my younger daughter, Alexandra, was the Little Buckaroo Rodeo 2005-2006, and my daughter was the Junior Teen Queen. And so we were going to all these events, and there was a gentleman on the Fair Board at the time by the name of Adrian Tubbs, said, "Hey, Mike, why don't you join the Fair Board?" So that's how I ended up getting on the Fair Board.
So 2005 was
2005, yes, sir.
So quite a few years you've been on now.
Yes, about 14 years now. Yeah. And been involved, and my girls are no longer here. They're off college and graduated college, but I think it's very important to be involved in the community. Community service is very important to me, so I enjoy being on the Fair Board.
Are you always looking for people to be on the board, or does he have a pretty good?
We have a pretty
pool of
good board. We get openings occasionally. We're up for 3-year terms, so every year we elect 7 new positions, and if people want to stay on the board, they're more than welcome to. And sometimes tomorrow night is our Fair Board meeting. We're electing a new person to come on the Fair Board tomorrow night.
So what qualifications, if any, are required to be a member of your Fair Board?
The only qualification that you have to be on the Fair Board is that you're a bona fide resident of Navajo County.
So it doesn't matter where. You could be Holbrook to Pine Top to Winslow or even White River or
Correct.
Kayenta?
Right now we have board members from Snowflake, Winslow, Pine Top. We don't have any north of Holbrook on the reservation. We have had them in the past, but right now we don't. But anybody's welcome throughout the county to be on the Fair Board.
So if they have an interest, how do they put their name up for election?
They get sponsored by a Fair Board member. They just come and say, "I would like to be on the Fair Board." And in January we have our annual elections, our annual board meeting. They can be nominated and voted on.
Okay.
Do you advertise that? And
Yes, we advertise that in December and leading into our annual meeting.
good. And so you've been 8 years as the president?
This will be my 8th year, yes, sir.
Wow, that's a lot of
It
responsibility.
is a lot of responsibility.
So what are some of the highlights, things that are memorable to you in your years of being involved with the fair?
Well, we have one of the best rodeos in the state. We've gotten the Grand Canyon Pro Rodeo Association Rodeo of the Year for several years in a row. That's always a big highlight. We've honored, last year I think was a highlight for me because we got to honor one of the last Navajo code talkers from World War II. Mr. Begay. So that was my highlight, bringing him into the arena, being able to be in there with him. Actually, he was 94 years old, walk in the arena and present him and show his story on the live screen there. I think that was one of the highlights since I've been president, to be able to witness that. He passed away, unfortunately, soon after the fair, but it was really a highlight to be able to honor him. Because not too many people, the younger crowd, don't know who the Navajo code talkers are.
Yeah.
And the Navajo County complex is, road is Navajo code talkers. And when people call, well, where is that? What is that? You have to explain it. So it was an honor to me to be able to bring Mr. Begay in and honor him as part of a code talker.
Yeah, we got a lot of that rich history in Navajo County with the code talkers, and the county record honors that at the complex, and that's. It's always a.
This year, I think a highlight is going to be because we have opening ceremonies on September 11th. So for opening ceremonies, we're going to honor the first responders throughout Navajo County. So we're going to bring different first responders from all the agencies throughout the county, and we're going to pay a special tribute to Navajo County's first responders. So I think that's going to be a highlight of one of the things this year.
Then often at the fair are vendors, both in the hall and along the walking paths. Mm-hmm. What kind of vendors do you have, and if somebody wants to be a vendor, what do they need to do?
So as a food vendor, we try not to duplicate a lot of the food. So you just have to download the vendor application, fill it out, send it in. If, say, somebody's already selling Navajo tacos, we don't like to duplicate it that way because we're not a large fair. Even though we get a lot of people, we try to make sure that the people it's worth it for them to come and have their business at the fair. So they just have to fill out the vendor application and provide insurance, and that's pretty much it. And then our vendor director coordinates all the different vendors.
But what other kind of vendors besides food do you have? I've been in Martinez Hall and seen a wide variety. Of
This year we're having the CBD lotion oil. This is the first time at the fair, so they're coming in.
So you'll have to be checking to make sure.
Right. If you want to sell, we have bamboo pillows and different blankets, clothing, boots. Salsa. Yeah, the Arizona Spice Company. Yeah, they're one of the better ones.
I see that every year.
Yes. So it's just a variety of different things. If somebody wants to come sell at the fair, and we'd be more than happy to have them.
And you said there was an online application?
Yes, they can go to NavajoCountyFair.com, and it's on our official website, and they can download the fair application and fill it out and send it in. And of course, we charge $2 a square foot, pretty much for each vendor.
That sounds pretty reasonable.
It is reasonable, yes.
Is that per day or for the whole fair?
No, for the whole fair.
Oh, wow.
For the whole fair.
Now, we kind of talked a little bit about it, but buying tickets in advance for some of these events.
Yes.
Where, and is there some savings that people can?
There is. Actually, it's online now on our Facebook page. They can go to the Navajo County Fair office, and it's $10 for fair admission and event admission. So you're saving $4 actually if you do your pre-sale tickets.
So they can go to the rodeo and buy both admissions.
Right.
For a $4 savings.
For $4 savings, it's $10 to get in. Otherwise, it'd be a $14 fee to get into both events.
That's a special wristband they get.
It's what you do is we give you a ticket when you check in at the box office or at the ticket gates. They'll give you a wristband to get into the fair and to the event. So it is a saving. Right now we're doing a drive on our Facebook page. If you share it, you're going to put in a drawing to win some pre-sale tickets.
Okay.
So
We'll
go on
home and share it.
Go check the Navajo County Fair's Facebook page and go in there and share it. Right? Exactly.
What about the auction to be a buyer? Do you have to sign up in advance, or you just show up at 1 o'clock on Saturday? Or?
I know through Junior Lifestyle you can get a buyer's pass, but if you just show up and bid, you can register there as a bidder, and they will give you a bidder number. But you can do it right there at the stands there at the event.
Yeah, I just have seen it every year. That's packed with people.
Yes.
It seems well attended.
Yes. So it's a good event. It's a good event, and that's why we moved it to Saturday to try to get more people. Because a lot of on Friday, a lot of people said we couldn't come because they were working and stuff. So we moved it to Saturday, and this will be the second year that the auction is held on Saturday. So hopefully it continues to grow.
I guess one thing about the fair is you never know what kind of weather you're going to get in September either.
No, yeah.
We've had some hot ones. We've had
exactly
rainy.
Hail. We've had major hail on opening ceremonies and stuff, lightning strikes, but
majority of the time
the
it's really really nice. If anything, a little on the warm side, but.
Yeah, no. So we're at the mercy and hope this year, knock on wood, that it's good. Because it depends. Our attendance is based on the weather as well.
And your budget for the next year, I imagine.
Right, exactly.
Well, Mike, the time has gone by quickly. Thank you for joining us and sharing about the fair.
Again, thank you. Thank Navajo County for doing all what they do to make our event great. One of the better fairs in the state.
Yeah, we'll see you in September at the fair.
All right, well, thank you.
Thanks.
And thank you for joining this month on Shooting Straight with Brad and David. And please stay tuned for this month's Most Wanted.
The Navajo County Sheriff's Office is seeking Cody Ryan Mooter, 50 years old, 6'3", blonde hair and hazel eyes. His last known residence is in the Shumway area between Snowflake and Cholo. He's wanted for felony warrant for theft of means of transportation and possession of dangerous drugs. If you have any information of Cody's whereabouts, please call the Navajo County Sheriff's Office at 928-524-4050 or anonymously contact WeTip at 1-800-78-CRIME or at WeTip.com.